So in the last video on my channel, I talked about thumbnails. In fact, the 5 trends that are happening to make people get more views. And well, those are tips and tricks that you can use. And if you haven't seen that video, click right over here. In that video, I share with you how facial reaction, facial features are featured in some of the biggest YouTube channels on the planet. And well, they're often reused, these kind of reactive-like faces, the happy, sad, scared, oh my God, facepalm faces, all do incredibly well at getting people to be interested and curious about your content. Doing a photo shoot where you can actually show all of those things is helpful. So that's what we're gonna do today. And I'll show you the process not only of shooting it, but editing it and turning it into the actual thumbnails I use on this very channel. And well, let's just be real. If you're watching this video, it worked. So let's teleport up to the studio. Now, before we set up the set behind me with a nice big screen, I want to talk a little bit about the emotions we're going to capture. See, by doing this photo shoot, what we are doing is pre-making assets for future thumbnails. Now, I want to capture a range of emotions. In fact, I've made a list of 13 of them that are going to be used on a regular basis to capture the attention in my future thumbnails. Now, I might not use this for every single time, but I will use it on a regular basis, and I just wanna have them available to me so I don't have to do all of this work each and every time I want to create a new video. This is gonna accelerate that process, and I'll show you the behind the scenes of the actual shoot, and then we'll get into the editing room. Oh, and my friend Sam, he's here to shoot with me. He's a YouTuber too. Go check out his channel in the comments.
What's up, guys?
One of the tips that you really want to consider is always using the same camera, the same lens, and you want to use the same settings for all pictures. Now, that's going to make my job and life so much easier in post-production when I throw this into Photoshop, put on the same filter, do the same adjustments to all the photos by not changing any of the settings. So I played around with it a little bit. 1/125 shutter speed, 3.5 aperture, and a 1250 ISO. With this kind of setting, this kind of light, and this kind of background, it comes out nice, but you tell me. Anyway, let's get to shooting. Now, one of the things we want to do is variation. We don't know what happens in Photoshop, but we want to be prepared. And this is what the shoot starts to look like. A little bit of pointing, a little bit of different reactions, some different shots, face palms, bored, sad, mad, angry, a little bit of everything. Now, here's the thing. I don't want you to think that you absolutely need a fancy background, big backdrops, and a ton of lights. I mean, this can be done in natural daylight with any given white wall, even a wall that already has some art on it, but that you could just take down and use as a backdrop. What you're looking for is contrast between you and a consistent, solid color, because when you put that in Photoshop, turn on a little magic wand, you can get rid of all the background and nice and easy, as well as your camera settings being fully automated and fully the same makes the edit easy later. So yeah, this can be done anywhere. Don't make any excuses. So it's another day, and that means I'm in the editing room. It's time to take the photos that we actually created for the thumbnails and, well, go through the process of sorting them, editing them, and then turning them into, well, cut out pieces that we can actually make into those thumbnails like we see on David Dobrik's channel. So one of the tricks I love to use, or at least I'm gonna attempt, is magic wand. And that's just by going onto the background, selecting a color, and removing everything in that background. So you can play with the tolerance of it to make sure that it's not chopping off a whole lot of stuff on the edges here. And this looks pretty decent. Everything else in the corner I can deal with. There's a little bit of challenge over there, so I might play with the tolerance just a little bit, but magic wand is kind of like the hacker's way of going about it. There's for sure a better way with like a lasso tool or whatever it is. Put simply, showing emotion in your thumbnail makes the audience be more emotionally impulsed to want to actually click on your video. So here it is. I took my thumbnail template, took an image, didn't even have to crop out the background a whole lot, and put it next to
a very recognizable face on YouTube. Now, could have easily put David Dobrik or Logan Paul or any other YouTuber that is relevant to the content that I'm talking about and shift the balance of my face versus a capture or a screen capture of what happens in the videos or any photography that you took on set while shooting. Now, all this to say is that you want to put that reaction, the facial emotion, the expression is so potent because it creates a curiosity and it makes me feel like this is what I'm gonna feel like, or I'm curious as to why I'm expressing that emotion in this thumbnail and what is going to happen in this video. You see, so many people spend so much time making the content so fire, but don't really put that much energy into the titling and to the thumbnail. And at the end of the day, nobody sees your content if they don't click it first. So that's why this is so powerful and so important and so impactful to just spend a little bit of time pre-planning and pre-creating. And doing a shoot like this, well, it's the best way. I think it looks pretty good. And there's so many variations, there's so many emotions, and I can use this in 1,001 different ways. And that's what's so exciting. So anyway, see you in the next video where hopefully you'll be clicking because of the thumbnail.